Greetings to everyone. Greetings, blessings. How are you all doing? Sorry for talking to you like this. It's just that I don't know how you all are hearing me there with the microphone. We're here inside the vehicle and there's noise here. And we're going to a city that very few of you, or maybe very few people in general, actually know. This city, the one we're going to visit today, it's located on the western side of Israel in the almost southern part of the Negev, right next to the city of Gaza. I think many of you know or have at some point heard about the city of Gaza. And you know that a few years ago here, we heard that missiles were being launched from the Gaza side toward Israel. And that Israel was being attacked, and there was conflict here in Israel, and that Israel was attacking Gaza, and so on. For a long time, there was constant news, and it seemed like every day Israel was being hit with more and more missiles. Until one day, the news started to change and said that Israel created a dome called the Iron Dome. I think many of you have heard about this Iron Dome. And from that moment on, it started like a kind of, how should I put it? Like a kind of news where, wow, Israel, how incredible in terms of technology, what they have created to protect their citizens. But at the same time, Israel was also attacked for killing innocent people. And a lot of things like that, right? What very few people know is that there is a city called Sderot, which was the only city on the Israeli side that received these missiles almost every day. And why? Because it's located maybe a kilometer and a few meters from the border with Gaza. That is, it's the only Jewish city that's so close to the place known as Gaza. Today we're going to take you to get to know the city of Sderot. We're going to see the people, and we're going to learn a little about what happened. We're going to go to a place, if they let us enter the police station, where they have collected and recovered many of the missiles that have been launched at Israel, so we can show you what they look like and what kind of missiles they were sending. And there's something very interesting, because in the city of Sderot, there's a family that's working in the inner city of Sderot for the good of the community. So don't miss today's episode of Touring Israel with the Bible in hand, because this is going to be really interesting. So I don't want to take up any more of your time. Let's go straight to it. Join me, buckle up, get comfortable if you're at home with your cup of coffee or your glass of water. Because we're gonna get to know another city in the land of... So thank you again for joining me. So let's head out on the road to the city of Sderot. The history of Sderot dates back to the year 1951. There were, in what is now known as the city of Sderot, 70 tents set up to create a temporary living place for new Jewish immigrants from Kurdistan and Iran. These tents were located near the lands of the Arab village of Nash. By 1953, the temporary camp was already complete, and at that time, due to growth, a plan was made to dismantle the camp and move its residents to agricultural settlements. A year later, it was decided to establish a settlement on the site. According to the plan, it was to include 100 houses for the residents of the temporary camp and another 200 for other new immigrants. By 1955, about 90 families lived in the temporary camp, which included around 400 people. By the end of 1956, there were already 150 concrete houses under construction, with apartments ranging from 35 to 45 square meters. About 500 families of immigrants from North Africa had already arrived in the city of Sderot. As we continue touring the city, I want to show you a bit of what the city looks like today. And we're going to see it from here, from inside the car. I'm going to take a drive around the city here on a normal day. Today is a normal day, and I want you to really see how people live without fear. People here aren't running around scared. I feel like I'll collapse, have an attack, or that we'll be attacked at any moment. People don't act like that here. Obviously, there are times when there is conflict, and the situation gets pretty sad, pretty ugly. But look, it's a normal city. We're almost reaching the downtown area now. It's really small, like I said, a little over 26,000 inhabitants. It's a very, 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 very small city. And as a result of this whole situation 2 years ago, specifically around 2019 and more exactly in 2018, when the conflict was the toughest, the hardest. Here, the situation got pretty bad and a lot of people left the city. They left the city and decided to move to other places, to go somewhere else. This city is named Boulevards because the Karen Kayemet, a Jewish national fund, decided to plant eucalyptus trees along the roads of the Negev. By 1958, new immigrants from Morocco, Romania, and other nations began to arrive, and by 1968, Sderot had around 8,000 residents. By 1990, immigrants from Ethiopia and the former Soviet Union began arriving, totaling over 10,000 people. And that's how, by 1996, Sderot was finally recognized as a city. This city seemed to be one of the most modern and flourishing growing cities in the Negev desert. But the great test for its inhabitants would begin in the 2000s segment.
It's been under fire for 18 years now, but an event like this had never happened here. This was a gathering to mark the end of summer with 4,000 residents. The Palestinians launched a number of rockets over Sderot. Everyone get down, everyone get down.
With just a little more than a kilometer away from the Gaza Strip, this city began to see its security affected. Since the beginning of the Second Intifada, countless Qassam rockets have been fired at the city from the Gaza Strip. Most of them did not cause physical damage, but there were some that caused deaths and material damage. With the implementation of the disengagement plan and the completion of the Israeli withdrawal from the Gaza Strip, Qassam rocket fire became much more frequent and its damage increased. Factories set on fire after rocket impacts, original residences that were established during the settlement were destroyed, and countless material damages. But the most astonishing thing about all this is that only 13 people in more than 20 years lost their lives under an attack of more than 20,000 missiles. In November 2006, after a period of relatively intense bombardment, a ceasefire was reached between Israel and Hamas. But a year later, a larger attack would begin from the Gaza Strip, firing dozens of rockets at the city and its surroundings on the morning of an Independence Day. By December 2008, another round of rocket launches targeted the residents of the cities of Herod, and that's when an alert system was implemented using an alarm sound. This protocol works first with an alarm sound throughout the entire city, along with a voice that says Seva Adam, indicating that they are in a red zone and under fire alert. Therefore, as soon as this sound is heard, one must find a safe place within 10 to 15 seconds from the moment the sirens start sounding. Because in a matter of seconds, due to the proximity to the Gaza Strip, the rockets will hit the city. Those who manage to find shelter within this time can save their lives and protect themselves if they manage to take cover in one of the security rooms distributed throughout the city. In 2014, rockets were fired at the city, causing damage on a daily basis up to the present day. We are in the year 2021, and missiles are still being launched from time to time at the city of Sderot. Alright family, greetings Myron. As I told you, I was going to take you to a place where they have the OSCS. Here it's called something like a, how do you say it? Regente would be the word, where they have recovered many of the missiles that have been launched at this city. Now I'm going to show you a little bit. Right now we're at the city's police station. You can't record here, you can't go in. Before, they used to keep them inside and they were much more organized, these types of missiles that you're going to see now. What they're doing now is they've moved them to an area where people can see them, and what they're going to do is create a new museum. I'm going to try to see if I can at least show you the area where the new museum is going to be, so you can see a little bit about this. Now, what is here today? Remember, since the year 2000, just like we saw before, when the second Intifada began, more than 20,000 missiles have been launched at this city. Watch as I explain it to you. More than 20,000 missiles are launched at this city. A city, as we said before, with 26,000 inhabitants. Look over here, let's see. More. There we are. A city with 26,000 inhabitants. And the most interesting thing about all this is that from the year 2000 until today, only 13 people have been affected. Did you hear me right? About 26,000 inhabitants. In 20 years, with more than 20,000 missiles launched, only 13 people have been affected. So what you see the missiles, once they've already exploded, fallen on that land. For example, look, I'll show you this. Just one part. Notice the head is bent. Why? Because this hit the pavement, and when it hit the pavement, it got buried in the pavement. Up here in the front, what they put on are homemade missiles, although there are some here that have seals. Of Russia, for example, there are others that have Egyptian seals with Arabic letters, but most of them are homemade missiles. That's why you see them, like these are the missiles. A lot of people are surprised when they see the missiles, but it's because they're homemade. Many of the inhabitants of Gaza, those who are terrorists, are the ones who make this material in their homes, in their warehouses. With a lot of money, sometimes even from foundations that are supposed to help people who don't have resources. A lot of aid comes, humanitarian aid that arrives for Gaza. Sometimes the money is misused and they use it to make this kind of material, which are ultimately launched because they consider the Jewish people their enemy. This city, as we mentioned earlier, is a little over a kilometer away from the city of Gaza. Here, and the number, we said, of missiles that reach here and only harm so few people? Can it show us God's faithfulness in protecting his people? And look, God protects his own, God protects those who belong to him. Just think about this. More than 20,000 missiles fell on 26,000 inhabitants. Let me ask you a question. If one of those missiles could hit, I don't know, maybe just 2, 3, 4, or 5 people, wouldn't that have wiped out a city? I mean, could the whole city have been wiped out? And at less than a kilometer away? Imagine, if you're launching a missile from here to 10 blocks away, it's not gonna hit anyone. I mean, it's not gonna hit a car, it's not gonna hit a house. How can that be possible? I explain it as God's protection. In all of this, they're even surprised themselves about how it's possible that they don't hit anything. I mean, you're gonna tell me, oh, okay, well, but you have the Iron Dome that diverts the missiles. That was invented much later, only recently in the past few years. What happened before that? How were these people protected previously? Remember, if the siren sounds here, people have little time to reach a safe room. Because there isn't much time. Look, I'm going to show you some missiles here that are a bit longer so you can see what they look like. Actually, when they're barely hit or don't fall to the ground. Look, here are the ones you can see from this side. Look, sorry, there it is, look here. These are a bit longer, you see, but that's how most of them are. There are a few more over there. I'll repeat, this is a police station and soon they'll be moving them to another place. I'm going to try to see if we can show you this other place. So, well, this is what it looks like today. Here in the city of Sderot, we are going to keep walking around the city and I will take you to another place. So you can see a little more about what this city is like, how many people live here, and what exactly happens here. So let's go, let's keep exploring, because we have much more to learn about this place. I don't know if you were paying attention. When I'm walking, notice that when the pedestrian is close to me, about to cross the street, here, it's mandatory. Every driver has to stop and give priority to the pedestrian. Here, it's not like in some countries where the car runs over and leaves the pedestrian behind. Here, the law is very important for the person who is walking. And they also have to follow the marked areas. There are marked places where they have to walk and where only they can move. They can't move anywhere else that isn't marked. And so the vehicle is required to come to a complete stop, stopping all its movement so that people can cross the street without any problem. Otherwise, there are many cameras in the city that end up giving the vehicle a fine. You may not realize you've been fined since the notice will arrive by mail at your home, due to the vehicle's license plate and a photograph taken of it. And there's no way to argue it because the photo was taken. The photograph is the evidence, and that's it. There, you got caught. You have to pay a little fine, and also, in some cases, the fines come with points. Just like you saw her, that's how you see the city. There are areas as well. Many of the cities in Israel are cities that are designed so that on one side the citizens live, and on the other side is the area, for example, the industrial area. Everything that has to do, for example, with car repairs, tire shops, where they go and fix the wheels of cars that got flat tires, and all of that. Is that so? I'm gonna take you a little bit to the upper area. Now we're going to go so you can get to know a little more while we keep walking around here. Because as I said before, the city is a small city. There's not much to show. It's also a relatively new city. It was founded shortly after the birth of the State of Israel, and it's not a biblical city. Now I want you to pay attention. Look, I'm going to show you something now later. While I'm walking, I want to show you something for you to pay attention to. Pay attention to the, beautiful things. The booths where the bus stations are located. I'm not sure if that's what they're called. In some countries, like Argentina, they're called garitas. Pay attention and tell me if you see anything different from what you see in your countries, for example. Come on, I'm going to help you and give you a hint. Let's see if we find a clock along the way here, further ahead. Let's see if we see anything. Let's see. Oh, look, in this case, this person can't cross here. He has to cross at designated places. This is not a place where he can cross. But well, those who are on foot also get fined. Let's see. I want to show you this about the stations. The stations, yes, they're called bus stations in some places too. Right now, we're in the middle of the Corona period. I also want you to know that Israel is already coming out of the Corona situation. Here I'm giving you a little update. Even though you still see people with the masks they're still wearing on their faces, But a law is about to be approved that in the coming days the mask will be removed, that people will no longer need to wear masks in the streets. You saw there were people on the side, but they don't have a crossing point, that's why they couldn't cross. It's not an area where they can't cross. In the meantime, I'll keep showing you a bit. I'll keep walking so you can see the city. Look at the sign over there in front. It's just that Israel recently had the ceremony for the remembrance of the victims of the Holocaust, what is known as the Shoah, the Holocaust, the Remembrance Day. Exactly, where every year here a national event is held. And there's a time when the siren sounds. There's a siren that goes off. It's that siren, the alarm one. When there's gonna be a war, for example, an alarm siren goes off. And that sounds on the second day, let's say, on Holocaust Day. Do you remember it? 6 in the evening, the next day, in the morning, 10 o'clock. The siren has a sound that lasts 2 minutes throughout the whole country. Wherever people are, wherever you are, if you're driving and you hear the siren, you have to stop your car, get out of the car, and stand up in remembrance of the people who had the misfortune to suffer in the Holocaust, who died in the Holocaust. What I'm gonna do now is turn around. Let's put it in reverse. Let's go. And we're gonna go back because I want to show you this about the stations. And after this, I want to take you to another place because I want to see if we can see the part of, at least the Gaza part, so that you can get an idea of how close Gaza is. And there's something we're going to do because we don't have enough time today. Because here we're going to meet a family. And there's a family that's doing a very, very interesting, very special job in this city. And their job is to bring light in the midst of darkness. For example, remember that I told you there were many people who, because of the security situation, with the missile situation, they left the city and went to live in other cities. They are a married couple who came from Russia. They are believers and work together with us in the congregation. And they are here in this city. They are very close to the congregation where we are, but they are in this city and their work is in this city. And when all this trouble started, they said, what should we do? With 3 small children here, what should we do? We have to leave. We have to leave the city. What's going on? And they felt from God that they had to stay in the city, and they called their ministry City of Life. Instead of everyone saying it was a city of insecurity, of death, and everything else, they called the ministry City of Life. And they are working here with Holocaust survivors, elderly people. They are bringing food. They are helping people who have problems with terror, who have been left with the after effects of terror. And we are going to go see them, and we are going to be with them, and we are going to collaborate with them so that you can get to know them. They have already been working with us for several years, but I want you to get to know them. And not just see me behind the camera, but also start to get to know the team little by little and the work that they are doing. Pay attention here. This is the bus station. Now look, the bus station is over there, in front. Now, what you see here, right on the side, here, exactly here. This is a security room, what is known as a shelter. For example, when the siren sounds, the people who are waiting for the bus have to come to this shelter and take cover. And that's how you'll see it in every place where there is a bus terminal. The siren sounds, there's danger in the city, you have to get inside that shelter. This is concrete. It's cement. Look over there. You have it here again too. See? Concrete, cement. Now, later I'll show you one when we get out of the car. I'll show it to you a little closer. And that's how people protect themselves. For example, when the missile, boom, fell right here in the middle of the street. Like this. Now we're here, and for example, now the siren is going off. What I have to do is get out of the car, lie down on the ground, protect my head with my hands behind it, and wait for everything to pass. Trust in the Lord and wait for things to pass. Huh? But isn't it safer outside than staying in the car, even if being outside seems unsafe? If it falls inside the car, there are no options. If it falls outside, at least what could reach you are the after effects, and you could be left with after effects, and well, that's how it is. This is what I told you about the nails they put in the head of that missile. We're going to keep moving. Now we're going to go to another place. I want to see if we can get to the high part to show you a little bit of the other side of the city. It's always important too, because a lot of people sometimes don't want to come here because they say it's dangerous. That city is dangerous. That city is dangerous and people don't want to come. Now, see for yourselves if it's dangerous. Just look at how many vehicles are outside. You can't see any danger. I mean, there's no danger. In short, there is danger, and it comes in seasons. And in the case that there is a specific danger, this city is one of the most affected cities due to its proximity to Gaza. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to leave the city and, we're going to cross to the other side. I'm going to leave the camera on because I want you to experience how close it is, so you can see how close we are. Notice that in just a matter of minutes, we're on the other side. I'm not going to enter Gaza because we can't enter Gaza since we're Israeli citizens. We can't go in, there's a military checkpoint. But look, I'm already here while I'm talking to you. I just left the city. There's the sign up there. We've left the city. Here we're entering the main road, which connects the cities. On one side, the city of Be'er Sheva, and on the other side, towards the city of Ashkelon. Now look here, okay? Simply here, do you see? Now I'm going to cross, okay? You guys are gonna see, you're gonna see this. What's this about? We're already on the other side. We're still in Israeli territory. We're in the land of Israel. There are a lot of people here who don't want to arrive, but this is where they live, on this other side. This is where they live, right? Also Israeli citizens who are a bit more daring. Look, there's security control here already. Check out the cameras, right? These are what are known as kibbutzim. Now you'll see inside, check out the fences all around, like with protection. You probably heard some time ago news about these people. What the terrorists did was go underground. They made tunnels, they entered through tunnels underground, and when they went into these tunnels, suddenly, could they come out in your backyard? This place where we are, there were many, terrorists who came out like that from the backyards of houses. In this place where we are now, I'm going to try to go directly to where I want to show you. The Gaza area. Even though we said that the city over here on the other side, which has more than 20,000 people, is the closest city to Gaza, this is still kind of like a small town, right? A small town that's right next to Gaza. Now look, we can't go any further. You can see there's a gate, and that gate doesn't let us go any further because it's a military gate. From there on, that's where Gaza territory begins. To get an idea, check out the houses here. I mean, they're very, very close to the border area of this place. I don't know if you can notice and appreciate. All of this is from here. See, it's already over there. That's the other side. I'll try to go around. And I'll see if I can take you all with me, and we'll try. I can't promise anything. I'm gonna try to cross to the other side of the fence. It's risky, I know, because there are also minefields. But well, here we go. I want to show you all, we are committed to you here, and we're going to try, right? I can't promise you, but we're going to try. Let's see if we can get across to the other side of the fence. Notice that the fence here, it's all closed off here, you see? Do you realize? We can't cross over there. That's because on the other side, for example, here, on this other side, up here, you see all this fence? This is where the terrorists, right? Would they come over here? Not now, usually. What happened is that they made tunnels underneath, and when they made these tunnels underneath, what they do is they end up coming in or going out. Directly here in these houses, do you see? You ask me, but why do those people live there? Why do those people live there? Because these people love this land, and these people are not going to give this land to anyone. It belongs to them. It belongs to them by inheritance. It belongs to them, and it is purely and exclusively theirs. Look, all of this here is military. All of this is a military area. All of that over there are minefields, and you can see it there. You can't see it well. There's a watchtower over there in the distance, which has cameras and monitors everything that's happening in the city of Gaza. I'm going now. I'm still here, circling around this whole area outside. So what I'm going to do is look for a way. Okay. And now we'll reconnect so we can get in there from the other side.
Well, I'll keep going. I'll keep trying to find a way in. Actually, I'm already inside, to be honest. I want to show you where I am so you can see exactly. I'll show you now. Look at the city. The city is Sderot, the one we were coming to.
Just getting to know. It was left on that side. That is, it's behind all the fenced area. Do you remember this? Well, the fence and all that ended up on that side. If you can see over there in the distance, there's like a line, there's a dirt road, really abandoned. That's where we went in. We crossed to the other side and started walking. And look, honestly, to get to where we are, it took us almost more than 2 hours going around. More than 2 hours to get here. And in the end, we managed to get into this area. This area you're seeing here, this street, this military street, this is where the military vehicles pass through. Now I'm going to go up there, where that tree is, because a sort of lookout point has been created there. Lookout point, but with, how do you say it? With a monument? A monument that's a reminder to people that someone has fallen here. But let's keep walking a little further in this place so you can see a bit more. Let's wait right here. We're gonna walk over here by the side of the soldiers to make sure we're not in any dangerous place and nothing happens to us at all. Well, look, we're getting closer to the place I want to go, over there, to that lookout point. But before we get there, I want to show you something. Now we're gonna go over there and we'll stay there for a little while, but look, right here. All of this, what you see here in front of me is the city of Gaza. I know it's windy right now, maybe. Now we're going to go up here a little bit. Let's go. Come with me. Let's walk together, because I'm also trying to stay in shape for you. I really apologize for the wind. I'm in a high place, as you can see. It's a high area. Look, right? So there we have it. Look, the city of Sderot is over there, behind us. You see the road, the cars passing back there. You can see some little white houses. That's the city where we just were, driving around in the car. Like I told you before, we went all the way through here. We crossed over, we arrived from this side. We started walking, we started going up, and there we have finally the city of Gaza. I know it's really windy, sorry, I don't know how you guys are hearing this. Look at all of this here. On the other side, if you can see far away, that's the Mediterranean Sea, and on the other side we have Spain. Now there are factories here, what you can see here, these towers, and over there in the distance you can see another city, that's the city of Ashkelon. Remember, there's a biblical story there. We'll visit and recall it at that place. What happened with Samson and Delilah, that was in that city, the city of Ashkelon. And there is also a Hispanic ministry there that we are going to visit, so you can also learn about the work they're doing there. Now, when there is conflict, all the missiles come out of this place. War tanks, everything comes out of this place. That is, the tanks come in through here and start attacking that place. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I don't think you can see it very well. But there, right in front of us, there's a kind of tower, and here there are some little brown houses, and you can't really see them on camera. But there are no windows. That's where the terrorists use that place as a base to assemble their weapons. And that's where the Israeli army destroyed that entire base, where they were training and preparing. Think that down here, around here, is where those famous tunnels were made underground, and people, the terrorists, would go underneath this to end up coming out. They were coming out there into the city, that one, the one we have there behind us. This is the truth. Living here is a challenge for these people, but they love the land of Israel, and this is where they want to stay. These people are not all bad people living in Gaza. In fact, there are many Christian people living there. The problem is terrorism. There are many people who are terrorists and who control the masses. It used to be a place a few years ago, exactly about 20 years ago. It was open, you could go in, you could go there, sit at a restaurant, have a coffee, go to the beach, leave. It was very peaceful. There was interaction with Israelis coming here and us going there. Until all this terrorist stuff started and all the peace in this place ended. Right in front of us, we also have minefields and you can't be here. In short, we came in because, well, we're trying to bring you the best we can. We're calm anyway, in a safe place, in a place where the army does allow us to be. It's not a place to stay all the time, but here the army does allow us to be. Further inside, notice there's a second part. There's a second fence way over there, and from there on, we can't go in. And that's it, because the army is there. They make it clear this is the limit. No one can go past here. Military towers mark the area, and everything beyond is under military control. From time to time, you will hear live fire drills. There are live fire drills happening very close by, which you can't hear too well right now because of the wind, but there are live fire drills going on here all the time. I remember a time when I used to come here with groups who wanted to pray for Gaza and also wanted to pray for Sderot. So when we would stand on one of these high spots, on one of these tall mounds, they would ask us, and the snipers that are there, are they still there? And we, kind of jokingly, would tell them, look, we'll find out right now. So about 10 or 15 of us would climb up a hill like that, but nothing happened, right? Because the snipers would cry, they're there. Well, family. There was a lot of wind up there. So much wind up there, so if I talked, they wouldn't hear anything at all. I just want to thank you for joining us once again here in the land of Israel, getting to know a little more about what this land has to teach and show us. So thank you for being with us there all this time. And I want to remind you that we haven't finished visiting Sderot. We are going to keep visiting Sderot. Why? Because we want to know what God is doing in this city these days. Therefore, don't miss the next episode about this part of the city of Sderot. We'll split it into two parts, what we've seen so far and how we want to see God acting today. That is, the living stones, how the living stones are acting today in the city of Sderot. And we are going to meet, as I told you, a family that is working there, and we are going to share a little with them. And those who want to, maybe at some point, help, support. The doors are open. So thank you very much. God bless you. Have an excellent day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good evening to those who are already in another part of the world. Good morning to those who are just waking up. And from here we say goodbye. Thank you for joining us. God bless you. See you next episode from the land of the Bible. Shalom, blessings, bye.